All right, my friends, welcome to episode 322 of Prof and Dev Play Games. That's a big fucking number, 322.
It is a big old number.
Jesus, I just got floored by that for a second. So you are Anthony the Dev. You are at SummerSpeak on Twitter. I'm gonna get this right this week, and I am at Prof Plays Games on Twitter. Wow, 322. All right, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Even better because I have tomorrow off. It's great.
Yeah, baby. Us too.
MLK Day.
Yep.
I mean, a lot of businesses don't, but we switched to getting MLK Day off instead of whatever the hell the holiday is in February.
And Martin Luther King Jr.'s
President's Day?
Yeah.
Is that February?
That's February.
I don't even know.
It is. Yeah.
So yeah, we switched. So MLK, System Era takes MLK Day off.
Nice. His family this week said, pass voting rights or don't celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
We're still not passing voting rights.
We're not, because Cinema and Mansion hate themselves or love money. I'm not sure what it is with those two.
Probably love money.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. I mean,
easy. It's
a lot of love
right?
for money.
Yeah.
I
read something. It was like, everyone who's getting mad at Bezos and everyone else for, how are you hoarding all this money you can't even spend in your lifetime? You have to understand, they're investing that money to figure out how they can live several lifetimes. And I was like, oh, that was slightly chilling.
I mean, possibly, yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole separate podcast, but
yeah. I'm like, the time's running out on that for both of them. So
yes,
and I don't think technology is really there for it.
No,
so
it's not. There was something about finding something about the cells that lead to aging in the last week or so.
Sure.
I don't know what
there's been a lot of stuff on that, but I have a hard time believing.
I think it was drinking urine and Viagra or something.
Yeah, probably. I heard that's a good thing to do.
Oh my good fucking lord.
Oh boy, it's been a week.
Sure.
In that way.
2022 has already been a banger in the worst possible way.
I mean, yeah, we had a true banger and a giant eruption.
Fuck
Holy
yeah.
crap.
The Earth is like, no, we sent the virus to end you. Okay, now we're going to start sending volcanoes and tsunamis.
Those big old volcanoes. I did see something there, a video of the tsunami, the swell, the 2 to 3 foot swell hitting Santa Cruz. That was noticeable.
Yes, right.
But didn't really see any other videos of San Diego or LA or any place around there really having much of anything going on. Hawaii got a little bit bigger, but my friend there said that no issues.
Yeah.
Just people got off the beach. It happened, and they were just chilling.
And they got back on the beach. Like, all right, we're going back.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. Which is crazy to think about, though, that this one volcano went off and it put tsunami warnings off pretty much everything on the Pacific Ocean.
Right.
Being like, so this is happening. Enjoy.
My daughter was like, is it the Ring of Fire? Like the Octonauts Netflix show? I don't know if you've seen that, but
I've seen so much Octonauts.
Yeah, okay. She loves Octonauts. She's like, it's the Ring of Fire.
It's so cool.
Octonauts is great, man.
My kids have grown out of it, but
yeah.
I have a soft spot for Octonauts.
Yep, they are great. My daughter loves Quasi.
Okay. I can't remember all their names. Which one's Quasi?
Quasi is the cat with the eye patch.
Okay.
There's Tweak, Shellington, who else is there? The Vegemals.
Yeah.
Oh, they're cool.
Yeah, there's that. It's the penguin.
The penguin is Peso, I think.
Yeah, Peso.
Paizo or Peso?
Peso. Cat. Vegemals. I was trying to think. There was some. Yeah, I don't know. It's been so long since I've seen that. I remember my kids would watch that, and they'd watch Wild Kratts.
Oh, we haven't seen that one.
Which is 2 Australian, maybe New Zealand guys that has an animated bit and a live action bit about just animals.
Oh, that's cool.
In general. It's it's a PBS show. The Kratt Brothers.
Might check that out.
It's silly, it's fun, but they have fun stories about, protecting wildlife and
Yeah, of course.
not being mean to animals. Generally just being nice. So, as you would expect from a PBS Kids show.
PBS shows are great.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is not the PBS podcast. This is a video game podcast. Not a lot going on in the world of video games. A couple of small news items. We'll kind of chat about a few things, a little hodgepodge. You had mentioned before the mics turned on that Take-Two bought Zynga for I think you said $1,200. You couldn't possibly have said
$12.8 billion
with a B, folks. Holy shit!
With a B. And doing research into it, like to give like a scale on that. I saw Rami talk briefly in a tweet, basically going like, for that amount of money, Take-Two could have invested $500,000 into 250,000 indie devs.
Jesus.
But they instead chose to buy Zynga.
Wow. Zynga must have something. Right?
I mean, they still exist. The first thing when this came up in my work conversation stuff. Most of us were just like, wait, Zynga still exists?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, because they've pretty much been on the downward slope for a long time. Yep. As soon as really Facebook gaming kind of dried up, they are able to shift a little bit more to mobile, but they haven't. I don't think they're not a company name you expect anymore. Like you're like, oh yeah, what does Zynga make? Well, they made that Farmville thing, which they probably moved to phones at this point.
Yeah.
I'm looking at things they have. I mean, their revenue for 20. I'm trying to see. Their last yearly revenue was 1.97 billion. So, yeah, that makes sense for what they're being bought for.
It's just, I mean, just like, I think even before the pandemic, but like since then, like there's so many other things you can do with that money. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Fuck. Like you say, like indie devs, that's a great way.
I'm trying to see what's going on here. 2017. I mean, they say they had in January 2018, they had approximately 80 million monthly active users. So they're getting data on about 80 million people a month. So that's worth a shit ton.
Yeah.
And it's a thing. And like, I feel like this is less about the games and a lot more about the behind the scenes technology, patents, and customer data.
Right.
And Take-Two wanting to have some foothold into the mobile market.
Mm-hmm.
Because how long till you get like a Grand Theft Auto mobile thing?
You get a Red Dead Redemption Farmville.
Yeah. Something. Like, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised it's taken them that long to really hugely invest in mobile. Geez, that was it's a lot of money. A lot of money. And Zynga's publicly traded, so they just bought out the shares.
Right. Everyone got paid, basically.
Yeah, everyone got paid. Got paid a lot.
Well, I guess Take-Two is publicly traded as well, right? So it's just absorbed into there.
Yep.
What if that just converts to Take-Two stock? Or they just give you money?
It said they bought it out for at a higher price than market price, of course. They're making people who invested in Zynga or own a bunch of Zynga stock got paid.
Right. Not me.
Jeez, I mean, this is the thing. I'm looking at like Take-Two Interactive. They spent that much money. But like their revenue in 2020 for Take-Two was $3 billion.
If the revenue, that's like 4 times their revenue.
They just they probably just had to have a lot of stuff sitting around.
Well, I mean, video games have been making hand over fist lately. Although I don't know what Take-Two has had, really. I mean, Grand Theft Auto, I guess, prints fucking money, so still. It's
why I think they've publicly said that there's the earliest there could be another Grand Theft Auto is 2024 at this point.
Because why not? Why?
Yeah,
Why kill it?
Why?
Yeah. It's like the same thing with the Switch. Like, yeah, we could do another Switch, but why? This one keeps selling everything. We can't even get enough out there to sell. You know.
That was an interesting thing. So, Zynga sold less than its initial IPO price. Still, late 2011, it IPO'd at $10 a share, and they got bought for like $9.86 a share.
Oh damn!
But still, I'm like, fuck, was that a bubble back in 2011?
Yeah.
Like, because their stock price started at 10, jumped close to 14, and then just dived. Like its lowest, it was $2.50.
Oh under. Wow! Well, if you bought it that, well, it's pretty good.
Yeah, and just rode it out, but
yeah.
And then it's just slowly built back up to float around between like 11 and 8. Seems like kind of where it fluctuated around.
While you got stocks open on a different topic, can you look up Activision Blizzard real fast?
I think they've gone up.
Oh darn it! Don't tell me that then.
I mean, they're floating around 65.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
I don't think it's like been a huge increase. They kind of just are. No, I mean they're still down year over year.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was like 105 or something.
But it's just kind of floating. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say they're doing exceptionally well. They're just not continuing to slide down.
Right.
Which kind of makes sense. Like if it's just straight investment, it's like they're still bringing in money pretty regularly. So
even though they're hemorrhaging WoW subscribers.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they did put out a Call of Duty, even though it wasn't reviewed incredibly well. It probably still sold a ton because it always does.
Right. Yeah, people just buy that every year. That's what they do.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing about it. You can't let's say they put out this one, people aren't incredibly happy with it. It just exists.
Yeah.
You can't continue to do that though. You gotta, because if you continue to make a product that people aren't happy with, they just will stop buying it. It just takes a few years for that to happen.
Right, you buy it twice or 3 times in a row, and it's like still crap.
This isn't great. Yeah, then you're like, okay, fine, I'll put my $70 someplace else now.
Or if that's the only thing you buy every year, they're like, okay, I'm done with video games, moving on to some other hobby.
That's true, and that's totally a thing that happens. So,
yeah,
but yeah, that was a big thing this week that I will be honest, no one really talked about.
Yeah, I didn't see much of it.
None of the news sites I saw, main news sites I saw, talked anything about it. Like, I'm trying to look what the link was, even from work. It was Forbes article on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I didn't see that get picked up by any of the other like game news outlets, which is probably typical. They're like, mobile game thing, whatever.
Exactly.
We're not paying attention to that. Yeah, but it's worth 12.8 billion. So, no matter how much people don't want to think about it, it matters a lot.
Well, yeah, and it gives them a, I don't know, Activision Blizzard when they bought King gives them a different, I don't know, vertical in their business. So
that's the key part.
Yep. You don't have to build it from scratch. It's just like there.
Yeah, that's the exact thing.
Yep.
But yeah. What else was going on?
Gosh. That happened. God of War came out on PC.
It did, and it's reviewing really well.
Yeah, to have it at a higher frame. Well, I guess PS5 is 60, so it wouldn't be higher on my PC. But if you had a 120 hertz monitor or whatever, that could be pretty cool.
Yeah,
I just like that Sony's going. I don't know if all in is it, but like exploring that. Like, okay, this game came out 4 years ago. I think we can put it on PC now.
They've learned that they can double dip.
Yeah, getting some money.
Oh wow, that sold really well a couple years ago. What if it sold really well again? And and people don't seem to give rum. Like the Steam reviews right now, there's almost 9,000 reviews.
Holy shit!
97% positive.
Dang. They're like, oh, this
Like,
Sony game is fucking good.
Yeah, and I've seen some people talking, playing it, that they really like playing it with keyboard and mouse.
Oh,
because it's
interesting.
really like you can aim the axe really quickly with the
Oh,
mouse.
shit, totally.
And they're like, man, it feels so good. I'm like, wow.
I wonder if Ragnarok comes out this year for people who are PC only, but they love it, but they won't be able to get the sequel Ragnarok for 4 years or whatever. Would that compel them to buy a PS5?
They can probably.
Is that part of the
not to
strategy?
complete. I'm sure there's a percentage
Yeah.
of that player base that are going to play God of War for the first time on PC. Ragnarok's going to come out, and they'll be like, I want to play it when it comes out. I don't want to wait a few years.
Right.
That's 100% part of the strategy as well.
It's interesting because my friend down here, Daniel, who you've talked to a little bit, he only plays PC games because he mainly likes multiplayer, and he doesn't want to get like a PS5 or an Xbox or whatever or PS5 specifically, like for kind of known for a lot of single player games.
Yeah.
But as he bought this game the day it came out because he's has a box that it's on, and he has heard so much about it. He checked it out, and he seems to be liking it. So you're kind of getting the people who, I don't know, peripherally have heard about it, buy into it as well.
Oh, totally. I think this strategy is showing more and more promise for Sony overall.
Yeah.
So these have come out because they've done Horizon, right?
Yep.
What other one has got? Oh, they put Uncharted out. That's right. The Legacy of Thieves collection is coming to PC. Days Gone is on PC. Horizon on PC. You got to believe that Horizon Forbidden West will eventually be out.
I think Ragnarok too. Like they can't put the first one
Yeah.
out and then not put the sequel out. It might be 4 years.
Yeah.
It may be less. Who knows?
I mean, yeah. What was the time? When did God of War originally come out?
2018, I thought. Or was it? Yeah, it was 18.
Yes, April. So yeah, it's
Nearly 4 years.
Yeah, very close to 4 years. So yeah, 4 years seems like a good buffer there to capture another audience.
Well, I wonder too if they might shorten that time frame because, for the last year or whatever, they've been selling God of War on PS4 or 5 or whatever for, it's like the greatest hits, $20 kind of thing. I don't know. Why not?
Yeah, I could see potentially trying to do it with a 2-year gap. Probably would
exactly.
be the closest they would get because they want to reap the benefits of the double dipping.
Yes.
Or completely new audience. They don't want to cannibalize the players that will just be like, oh, I'll just wait until it comes to PC.
Exactly. Yeah, because waiting 2 years is pretty long. Waiting a year, people can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice price point too, $50. Considering PS5 games are $70 now from them. So
yeah,
and Square.
Curious.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm curious when the first PS5 PC port will be.
I mean, what would it be? It would be Demon's Souls. Is that really Sony's choice though?
That's not Sony. Sony doesn't get to make that choice.
Right.
Returnal.
Yeah, that's a fucking great one actually.
Returnal and Rift Apart are the two that could potentially make it to PC. But I'm curious how that would go because they care so much about the hard drive speed.
I was gonna say I don't know if Rift Apart could because of that. If you don't have an SSD,
you have to have a very specific. I mean, let's say they'd wait 4 years. In 4 years, they could be like, yeah, min specs are this hot.
Right.
Like the specific stuff. Like,
right.
If you don't have it, it's not gonna play great. But that will be much more common in 4 years.
Yeah.
So
yeah, okay. I can see that.
But still, I mean, like those came out. Returnal. I guess Returnal would probably be my first one I would expect.
I think
maybe in like another 2 years might see Returnal.
I think it's a good choice, especially since God, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not sure that the sales numbers were astronomical for that game. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I don't think so.
Yeah. Just based on the difficulty and the lack of save points, I held off.
Yeah. I mean, and it's only on PS5, which has a very limited install base right now.
Right,
So,
whereas Horizon will be on both. So.
yep.
And I think they said God of War. Maybe not. I don't know if they did or didn't.
Yeah, I don't think they've said on God of War yet.
Yeah. But Ratchet and Clank was PS5 only, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So I never bought an extra SSD for the PS5. Did you?
No, I haven't. I haven't needed to.
Yeah, me neither.
Actually, the next game that's probably coming out that isn't PS5, but will be Ghost of Tsushima.
Ah, there it is. Yep.
I guarantee that will be coming to PC.
Yep, for sure. That's a perfect game to come to. God. I need to go back and finish that expansion. Shit.
Yeah.
I probably got like an hour into it.
I had to go back and just finish that game.
Oh my God, Anthony, you haven't finished the game.
No.
Ugh.
I got bogged down.
Yeah. I fucking platinum
like
that
every
shit.
other
Oh my
open
God.
world game, usually. So
It's like the opposite of Horizon. Like I felt like I got bogged down in that and it took me forever to finish it and didn't platinum it, and you the opposite.
yeah.
Ghost. Oh fuck, that was sincerely my jam.
That's probably coming to PC, I would assume.
Without a doubt. That was summer 2020. So
yeah, a few years.
Yeah, that is such a pandemic game for me.
Yeah. Again, that might be one that they show kind of a shorter time frame on.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Maybe like flex the 2-year thing and see what happens.
Yeah. Or 2.5 years, like have it come out on like PCs.
On holiday.
This time 2023. Actually, that'd be pretty interesting if they just are like, no, we'll do one PC release basically a year.
Yeah.
Around this time frame, this like January, Feb time frame.
I was about to say something very unfair and say, well, that's the cadence they're doing for releasing PS5 games. Zing! But that's not true. They've released more than one.
They have.
And this year is going to be cool, as we talked about last week.
Cool. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's really cool to see the game on PC, and it's clearly getting another audience on PC.
Yeah, people who would never have picked it up or picked up a PS4 or anything like that. So
yeah,
it's cool. It is weird though. Now this is the first time where I've thought about a game and thought, wow, that came out a long time ago. And when reached back to that date, it was after my daughter was born. Like, oh man, it was so long ago. Shit, my daughter's older than this game. That's weird. Now it's just I'm gonna feel old for the rest of my life.
Yes, actually you will. Kids are good at that.
Yes, great. Thanks. Thanks, kids.
Yeah.
Yep. So you've been playing some more Final Fantasy XIV?
As always.
Yeah. I see Travis is moving forward in the game.
He is. He is through a realm. Well, he's through the main A Realm Reborn, and he has started the patch content between A Realm Reborn and Heavensward, which I will say it drags a little bit. I think the first like 2/3 of that patch content was a little. Everything kind of slowed down again. But it pays off really well for the last third of that patch content leading into Heavensward. Like they're very good at masterfully setting up their expansions in patch content.
Yeah.
So that you're just super hyped to go right into the next expansion. So yeah, I mean, it's been fun kind of just as he's asking questions, seeing how he's making his way through it. He's stuck with it. So
yeah, he seems to have gotten through that pretty quickly. He said he's only spent like 20 hours, but that doesn't seem. Can you do
I have no
ARR?
I don't know.
20 hours?
I don't know, actually.
Because you said Endwalker was like, well, I guess 40 with all the content, maybe?
Yeah, 40. I spent somewhere between 30 to 40 hours on Endwalker.
Yeah.
And that's what I'd expect a Realm Reborn to be about 30.
Yeah.
Because it was sped up and shortened a little bit back in 2018. They kind of condensed, got rid of some of the fetch quests and just miscellaneous stuff out of the MSQ, so it would just move a little bit quicker. But
that's nice.
I think it will probably be close to like between 30 or 40 hours with the patch content.
Was it A Realm Reborn, Heavensward, and then Endwalker, or was there something between?
No, there's 2 more in between.
Oh, fuck. All right.
It's Heavensward, Stormblood, Shadowbringers, Endwalker.
It's a lot of content.
It's a lot of content. A lot of very good content. I'll be interested once he hits Heavensward, because that's the one that people hold up pretty exceptionally high, and it is really good story. Like it, just in a way that you're just not expecting it, being like, okay, there's all this big stuff happening, but we're just actually going to spend time just really focused on like one major story that is kind of its own thing, and they nail it, and you feel like this is epic and it's huge, but it's personal as well, and a very personal story to the characters that are involved with it. So yeah, it's the first time you really see them just like, oh no, we know how to tell a story, and it feels good. So we'll see. I've just been grinding mostly. I've been playing, I think I got my bard to level 82 now. Jobs, so 90s max. So it's just, so I'm now just grinding out the best ways to level in Endwalker content. And it is grinding. There's no way around it, but there are specific things to do to make the level grinding faster. That they have put in the game specifically for people who are leveling.
To make it a little bit quicker. That's cool.
Yeah, it's definitely quicker. Well, the thing is there's like a core system that's always been there, is that if you're leveling a job that is lower than your highest job, you get double experience.
Oh, that's nice.
So having a job at 90 means every other job I levels it twice as fast, right. Baseline. And then there's just a bunch of side content you can do that's just rewards a ton of experience that also gets that double experience.
Is some of it specific to that job, so it's kind of new stuff? Or
I mean, there's definitely job quest lines. Yeah. Not like a ton of it, but each job has their own story arc that runs from A Realm Reborn to Endwalker. Cool. And usually it's kind of focused on the expansions. Like they're the role quests, job quests, tell interesting side stories specific to the type of job you're playing. Like, they definitely move away from that in being so specific in Shadowbringers and Endwalker, where instead of being like, oh, this is the Dragoon questline, it's this is the melee DPS questline. So it's shared between a couple like a chunk of jobs. This is the healer questline. This is the tank questline. They switch it to roles, which probably just to make not have to make as much content as they keep adding jobs to the game.
Right. Not have to go back and add a ton of stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm still enjoying it quite a bit. I'm looking forward to sales going back on in a week and a half.
Yeah, 25th. They announced
9 days. So 9 days, the Oceanic server, data center, and servers go live, and they start selling the game again. And they do free world transfers for people to the Oceanic servers. So
people who had to open up in NA or whatever because they couldn't.
NA or Japan, yeah.
Okay.
Can now
Australia
freely move. Yeah, Australia, New Zealand players can actually get their own data center now.
Yeah.
Which I assume with that opening, like there'll be just enough migration from all the other data centers that will ease a lot of the burden overall.
God, I feel like there's going to be a larger burden though, because when it comes on sale, the people who the hype
I'm sure
Endwalker and they couldn't buy it, seems like they would jump in. Maybe I'm wrong. It seems like the hype hasn't died down, but maybe that's because we have a podcast every week and that's all we talk about.
I don't think the hype has died down so much, and that's always a possibility, is that it's going to immediately go on sale and you're going to see another huge bump in queues again.
That's
which is probably going to happen, I'll be honest, but they can't indefinitely stop selling the game So
No, it's not even in their best interest to do that. So
yeah, I think they're just weighing that this is probably the best time to start it because NA server stuff won't be taking place until August 2022.
Yeah.
Is when they can actually procure the hardware and get it all installed to expand the current North American servers. And then they're going in 2023. They're just basically adding a whole new data center to North America.
Right.
So there'll be 4 at that point.
Gearing up for the next 10 years.
They are. They totally are. I don't know. It's crazy. I love the game. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm happy you guys are having. I just love watching Travis. I'm living vicariously through watching him do all this stuff. And when he said the cutscenes are getting a little excessive, I just couldn't help but just laugh.
Yeah. Especially because I knew exactly the content he's going through, which is there's 2 8-man dungeons at the end of A Realm Reborn that they're long. And not because the fights are long. The fighting is probably maybe 10% of the whole thing. It's mostly just cutscene that you cannot skip. They made it so players can't skip it. The reasoning is because there's a thing called daily roulettes, which is a bunch of things. You just say, I want to queue for PvP, random PvP, get put into PvP, random dungeons. But they have a section that's specifically main scenario daily roulette. And it's only those 2 instances. You get a ton of experience and rewards for doing it. So every high-level player that's leveling any of the characters, you always select that, even though it's going to take you half an hour to 45 minutes. And you're going to watch Netflix while most of it's going on.
Because you've already seen it 100 times. Yeah.
Because, my God, you get almost a level from doing it.
Oh, dang.
And you get a bunch of, like I said, rewards to buy really good gear for leveling a character.
Yeah.
So, but since a lot of new, older players do that, they made it so that you can't skip cutscenes.
To basically deter people?
Yeah, so basically, as new players are going through it, you don't skip the content for them. They have to experience the story, and that's the trade-off. But it also makes it so there is always people running the main scenarios. It is actually a really smart system.
Yeah.
That's the roulettes are. There's trial roulettes, which are the short, single man, fight Ifrit, a primal, or summon. There's dungeon roulette, leveling dungeon roulette, so it's just put you in a random dungeon that is part of the MSQ, just leveling MSQs. And they all give good rewards, and it's probably the fastest way to level alternate characters and jobs. So there's always players being funneled into all this older content to keep it running for new players. So it's a great system in that way.
Well, it sounds like it's as popular as ever. And
I think it is.
I'm looking forward to the 25th to see the spike.
Yep.
Or at least hear about it.
And I will keep telling you, you better not buy it. You have music to write.
Yeah, I wrote my Final Fantasy, my FOMO MMO song. FOMO song.
MMOs and other hobbies don't mix. I'll say that.
No, they don't. No, the amount of time. I don't know, man. That's a lot of time. But it is. I am still experiencing FOMO despite writing that song.
Yeah.
I submitted it to a bunch of people today, and I got a rejection back. It was totally fine. It's a pretty niche song, and they're like, "This song is funny as fuck, but it doesn't fit our playlist. Sorry." I'll take it. It sounds good. I literally laughed out loud in this song, but it does not fit our playlist. We play more serious songs. Okay, it's cool. I'm happy.
It's so good. That's one you need to post to the FF14 Reddit subreddit or something.
Dude, I'm putting serious money into this one. I've got a video being made right now with Final. I need to run by you actually, just so you know. Because I requested only Final Fantasy XIV videos because he makes videos using video game cutscenes and whatever else.
Okay.
But when he gives it to me, I'm not gonna know if it's Final Fantasy 14 or Final Fantasy fucking 12 or whatever. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to look at it and tell me.
Okay.
But I'm gonna make a run for it and see if I can kind of. It seems like a really niche thing that would be really popular, possibly in one very small sliver of people.
Yeah, I mean it'll make a nice little wave.
Exactly.
I would expect.
Yes. So I'm excited. We'll see. It's cool. I think that's a good day to release it and see what happens. But I definitely need a video. My wife was like, "You need to get it on TikTok." I was like, "I don't know what that means." I'm not sure that I'm going to do that, but I'm happy to put it on the old YouTube, the boomer tube.
You're like, God damn it! I don't know what these newfangled kids use with their ticky talkies, whatever.
People just twerk on that, right?
They do actually do a lot of music stuff on it. Like, I don't have a TikTok, but I do know that it's used a lot for collaborative music making.
Yeah. I'm joking. I know it's huge for music. I just don't partake or use it. Maybe that's stupid of me. I don't know. But I make music for me, and it's just fun. So I had a lot of fun with that song. So yeah, looking forward to that. I've already got everything set up. It's already out. It's loaded in the queue, as they say. So
nice.
It's waiting in the queue for 9 days until this game goes on sale. So, for me, been playing Skyward Sword a bit with my daughter. Experienced the reason why the amiibo is kind of cool. My daughter wanted to go back to Skyloft immediately, Daddy. And I was like, we need to calm down. We'll find a bird statue and we'll get up to the sky. And she was calm for a bit, but there's this, it was like the sealed grounds. I couldn't get back up to the fucking bird at the top of the swirl, because it was like blocked off with a gate and a cliff. And I was like, there's gotta be some way to get the fuck up here. And I tried for like 5 minutes. Like, I'm missing something. And by that point, my daughter was melting down. So I turned the game off, and that proceeded to, or that allowed another hour-long meltdown.
Yeah, you're like, that did not improve the meltdown.
It's not at all. But I was kind of on the fence about getting the amiibo anyways, for the last couple days, because I'm like, we're playing this game a lot. Like, I think it'll be useful. And then I saw why it would be useful. I was like, all right, I'm buying this now. So I've got it. It's in a bag on the couch. A little gift. She'll open up tomorrow, and we'll play a little more Skyward Sword. But they must have streamlined it, because people have maligned the beginning of Skyward Sword for as long as I've been playing video games, since that game's come out. And I'm 3.5 hours in, and it's been nothing but fun. So I don't know. Either my standards have changed, or they've streamlined it quite a bit. Fee is not as annoying as people said.
I don't know. I'd have to see some comparisons.
Mm-hmm.
But I just remember being bored out of my mind more than anything.
Yeah, I guess like finding all the Kikwis so the elder will tell you where Zelda is and whatever else, like, wasn't really necessary. It's all about, like, I don't know, training you how to use the controls or whatever. But my daughter loved finding all the Kikwis, so it adds something to it, right?
Yeah.
Playing Kena 3 times and playing Paper Mario twice. They're great games, but there's a certain magic that's there through her eyes. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's been good. So
we're playing some Rocket League as well. Like, how good are you guys at Rocket League at this point?
Oh God, I think everyone who plays would say that we're terrible, but I think we're okay. We win sometimes, we lose sometimes. We don't win every game. But last night, man, fuck, I saved the match. I had like almost 1,000 points. I had scored 5 goals. I had 4 assists. I had 4 shots on goal. It was like magic. And Travis had nearly the same, and Kartik had almost the same. We were just fucking firing on all cylinders last night.
That's awesome.
Until we weren't.
Until
we got our ass stomped the next game.
Well, of course, because you're doing really well, and then they're like, "Hey, matchmaking, here you go.
Exactly.
You're good."
Right. Yep, exactly right. And then we get stomped. Now I'm getting a lot better at kicking the balls out of the corners and centering the balls so that someone else can fucking knock it in.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've almost 300 hours into Rocket League now. It's creeping up on TF2 as my most played game of all time. It's funny, for like a person who loves single player games, my most played games are multiplayer games. But it's just an excuse to hang out with friends and talk shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was good. So that was episode 322 of Prof and Dev Play Games. 322 in 2022. We will be back. I know I say this a lot, but surely there is a direct coming up. sometime in January, because that's what
There
happens.
usually is. That's the
Yeah.
thing. So
I
I would expect one soon.
I would too. I want to know what March looks like. That's like a big time for
Yeah.
Nintendo. So I want to see what
It
March
is.
looks like for Nintendo. I'm sure there's something like there was some leak is like, oh, Wind Waker's coming to Switch, which I would fucking lose it. Like I know I have that game on the Wii U. I've played that game like 10 times by now, but I will buy it again on the Switch.
I'm waiting for some Square Enix stuff to drop. There was some leaks / rumors, grain of salt, saying that Final Fantasy Tactics is coming to Switch
Oh boy.
and PC. Basically because it's the 25th anniversary of that game this year. But there was some leaks for a chunk of Final Fantasy games in celebration and stuff, and I wouldn't put it past that showing up in a direct.
Oh god, yeah, that's huge news. I could see that.
Like I could see Nintendo and Square like doing, because I don't think Square is going to have their own thing necessarily unless it's tied to when they show Final Fantasy XVI stuff. They're just going to do like a big kind of Final Fantasy celebration, because I think this is the 35th anniversary this year for Final Fantasy as the first Final Fantasy as a franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So they might just do their own thing, but I could also see it showing up in a direct, because there's a lot of rumors saying that there'll be a bunch of Final Fantasy games announced for the Switch, like the Pixel remasters, Tactics, War of the Lions.
6. Oh man, fuck yeah.
Like they think there could be a lot of stuff this year from them of like their back catalog showing up on Switch, which I'm holding out on the Pixel remasters until that. So
yeah, I mean the Switch is the perfect place to play that.
Yes, give it
Final
to me.
Fantasy 6 looking nice.
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
good.
So we'll see. Maybe that will happen this coming week. Probably not.
God, I feel it in my bones, and that
Yeah.
means it will be wrong.
Pretty much.
Oh well. All right, thanks for tuning in to our Final Fantasy XIV podcast, episode 322. We will see you next week where we'll be talking about that Nintendo Direct. If you like our podcast, please rate us on your podcast service of choice, tell a friend, and we will see you next week.
Later, everyone.
See ya.